Hello, my dear students. Today is the 3rd of May 2018. English Department of School Ali bin Jassim bin Muhammad Al Thani Secondary School for Boys. Greets you all, and we want to discuss today, inshallah, future tenses. Future tenses is for grade 11 foundation for the 4th report 2017-2018. At first, let's start with future continuous. Future continuous, the first thing that we talk about is the form. It is formed by will plus be plus main verb plus ing. And for the affirmative, as we know, we have the subject at first, I, you, he, she, it, we, they, or singular or plural noun. Then we have will, or abbreviated by apostrophe L, double L, be, going, for example, ing. And for the negation, we have the form of negation through putting not after will, or the abbreviated form won't plus be plus verb ing. And now we come to the interrogative form. We can start with will at first, then we have the subject, then we have be plus verb ing as a question. For the short answers, we should start with yes, for example, if the answer is yes, then followed by the subject, then will. And if it is in a negative form, we start with no, followed by the subject, then followed by won't. Let's come to the functions, or uh, to the duties, to the uses of the future continuous. We use the future continuous for different tasks. Number one, for actions which will be in progress at a stated future time. An example for this is, we'll be having lunch with the Smiths tomorrow at noon. Number two, we use the future continuous for actions which will definitely happen in the future as a result of a routine or arrangement. For example, don't come around at 7 tonight. I will be having a dance lesson. Also, we use the future continuous for when we ask politely about someone's plans for the near future. What we want to know is if your wishes fit in with their plan. Will you be driving to work today? I need a ride to the station. As we know, every tense has some expressions, or time expressions as we call them. We use the future continuous with the time expressions like this time tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. Okay, at 1 o'clock, for example, tomorrow, at 3 o'clock tomorrow, 3 hours from now, later, and so on. Let's come to the second tense, which is future perfect, or future perfect simple. In future perfect simple, we talk at first about the form. It is constructed through will plus have plus past participle of the main verb. For the affirmative form, we use at first the subject, followed by will, or abbreviated by apostrophe double L, have plus verb plus past participle. In negation, we focus on putting not after will, or making the abbreviated form, which is one, won't, will not, have plus past participle. For the interrogative, we start with will plus the subject plus have plus past participle. If the answer is yes, we should start with the subject after yes, then will. And if it is no, we follow no with the subject, then won't. Let's have the use of future perfect simple. We use the future perfect simple for actions that will have finished before a stated time in the future. For example, she will have finished her interview by 3 o'clock. Let's come to future perfect continuous. What is the form of future perfect continuous? It is formed by putting will plus have been plus main verb plus ing. For the affirmative form, we start with the subject at first, then followed by the form of the verb will have been plus verb ing. The negative form is we start with the subject, then will, or will not, or won't have been plus verb ing. What about interrogative form? We start with will plus the subject plus have been plus verb ing. And if we have short answers for a kind of questions like this, we start with the yes, it is followed by the subject, then will. If we start with no, it should be followed by the subject, then won't, if it is the short form. Let's come to the use of this tense. We use the future perfect continuous to emphasize the duration of an action up to a certain time in the future. The future perfect continuous is often used with by, for example, by the time he finishes, he will have been working for 16 hours. What about time expressions used with the future perfect and the future perfect continuous? We use, for example, before, by then, by the time, until or till, then, etc. Note, by or not, until or till are used with the future perfect. Until and till are normally used with the future perfect only in the negative sentences.